Hi guys, welcome back. We're gonna be showing a full day of squad battles playing on the legendary AI difficulty. In order to show you some of the things that you should be doing and some of the tricks that you should be deploying against the AI, so that you would be able to win a lot of games or as many games as possible. So the most important thing when playing against the legendary AI is to be patient. That's by far the most important thing that you always have to remember. The AI, the legendary AI, is super tough. They are kind of cheating. They are playing in a way that your players feel inferior, even if they are better players. And that's because the AI is actually cheating. It's obviously really, and it's part of the difficulty. The opponent players are faster, they are stronger, they're better, regardless of whether they are really better as cards in the game. They still are faster than you. They're passing better than you all the time. They are more precise. Their shots are awesome. They mark you perfectly. They have great physical powers. But the most important thing is to keep your cool and try to pass a lot. And I have created a video which I'm gonna link to that shows you what kind of tactics I'm deploying here, and that's exactly the tactics I'm using in these games that I'm playing here. And I'm gonna be showing 4 games in squad battles, from out of which I won 3 of them, and I lost at the last one in a very weird game, and where I was actually ahead, and then I conceded some weird goals, and I was eventually lost that one. But we'll see all of these games, and I'm obviously showing highlights because I don't think it makes a lot of sense to show you the whole game. It's gonna be whole games. It's gonna be way too much, way too long of a video to do that. So as you see, the main thing that you want to be doing, as I said, is trying to find space by using as many players as possible in your offense, while at the same time being ready in your defense as well. That means that you should always be having players in behind, marking behind, and not leaving enough a lot of space behind. And that can happen easily when you're playing against the AI, because the legendary AI, because they're way too fast and they mark pretty much all over the place, and their stamina never really gets depleted. So they always run full speed pretty much. While your players do become slower as the game progresses, the AI definitely doesn't. So you have to be better with your passes and more clinical for sure. In this case, I scored a second wall here, and you will notice that since the AI pressures high up the pitch all the time, and especially when they're trying to get one goal back or win the game, they will have more space behind. And by counter-attacking, and not by using the counter-attacking system, but just by trying to counter-attack when they are attacking, you will be able to score a few goals. And so in our first attempt, we actually easily won this, and we got a lot of points. That was an easy game. That was obviously the first out of the 4 games of the day. So as you see, we beat the AI 3-0 quite comfortably. Then the next game comes where we're playing against a better team with higher chemistry. So you will notice that chemistry is super important, but obviously the most important thing when you are playing against the AI is the actual players that the AI is using. So if they have the Ronaldos and all the Messis and all those awesome players, Lewandowski for example, they will be really tough to beat in the legendary AI difficulty. They will be doing things that you won't be expecting. And frankly, in some situations, it would almost be impossible to mark. There are some occasions where even if you try to mark, and even if you try to be as concise as possible and have your players as close as possible, it just won't happen. You will concede most of the time. So it's really important to have a good offense so that you can come back, for example. And after the patch, the offensive play has been nerfed. It's not as easy as it used to be, and it's not so easy to score. You have to find the space, and you have to be better at finishing. So in this case, we are one up ahead, and it always helps to have good players as well, obviously. And pacey players are important in this FIFA, so I would definitely recommend to get good players. I could have considered here good and pacey players like Jesus or I don't know if they call him Jesus maybe or something, but I tend to call him Jesus. It's a great player, and pretty much everybody and their mother have them in their BPL teams. So yeah, always go for the pacey players in this FIFA. It helps a lot against the AI because obviously they are super pacey, and as I mentioned earlier, they never get tired. So you really need agile players, agile and pacey players. So notice how patient I am with passing here. I'm trying to find the space to take the shot because again the AI is marking really well. So I really need to try and find the best space possible, the perfect angle to shot. And I'm finding one here and scoring a second goal. So I'm actually defending using the tactical defending, not the legacy one. In case you don't know about it, you can switch to the previous FIFA defending or something that's close to that using the controller settings when you are loading the game and changing them to legacy defending, to use the legacy defending instead of tactical. I don't know why EA allows that, and I was super lucky here. I don't know why EA allows pretty much everybody to use legacy defending. It's more like cheating really, because legacy defending is actually way easier than the new defending system. And again, I am using the new defending system here, so you will notice that my opponents are creating more chances than what would happen if I was using the legacy defending, which is more of an automated type of defending. It's more like FIFA 17 defending, which is like holding, contain, and being able to defend really. Anyway, we won the second game. And notice, yeah, in tactical defending, like the new defending system, you really have to use L2 and try to keep your position. And it's tough because the AI is dribbling all the time, is passing perfectly, perfect precision, perfect accuracy. So at times it feels like a little bit random on whether you can actually defend a situation. You see, I'm trying to keep as close to my opponent as possible, but it's just not happening. So this is the third game here, and I was a little bit lucky in the beginning. My opponent had a couple of chances, and they could have pretty much scored one. Here, for instance, I just couldn't even reach him. I mean, my defender wasn't even up to the opponent's speed, not even close. So always resist the temptation to make a through ball where it's debatable whether your player will actually reach that ball. If you are thinking that my player is probably not going to reach the ball, then he's probably not going to reach the ball because the AI is really really strong and really speedy, and they will most likely be there first. And even if you are there first, your first touch is probably going to be terrible, and you will lose the ball anyway. And look at this situation, right? I mean, it almost looked like it was some sort of a scripted goal here. I don't really believe in the scripted FIFA in the sense that it pre-decides what happens, but it definitely changes the sliders on runtime. That was a fantastic goal here. And I really enjoyed this one. A lot of passes. Look at the amount of passes here, and really, really nice cooperation from my team, and it's a great second goal. It feels like when I'm scoring, I'm creating some great goals here, and then I'm suddenly the AI is finding like a perfect shot, or my goalkeeper doesn't really react very well, or the ball hits the post and then comes off the post and then back to an opponent or something. And look at that one, for example. I mean, that's like a Ronaldinho type of goal. He almost had no space, and he did score it anyway. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, yeah, you could be doing your best and outplaying the AI, but still getting goals that you didn't expect that they would be able to score. And we're approaching the end of that game. We're actually in overtime right now. It was 2-2 in the normal play, and that's the last phase of the game, and I'm having a chance here, and thankfully I had just substituted. I believe it's Jesus here, and I was able to score that one, and yeah, won the AI this time 3-2. And obviously, the more you play, and I'm very close to rank 100 here. So obviously, the more you play with AI and the more you proceed with the battles, your players feel more and more sluggish. So in the last game, and actually this was happening in the previous game as well, but I managed to win like 3-2. And look at that. So he saved it like twice before me being able to actually take the shot and score. And that was on the 4th minute, and everything looked just fine in this game. I was like, yeah, maybe look at that. Look at these blocks. I mean, everywhere. So and I was thinking, yeah, maybe I would be able to win this one, but I kind of knew that the AI would come back with vengeance, really. So I kept trying here. I really thought that I could have scored another one here, but it didn't happen. Again, a lot of passes, a lot of patience, and look at this one here. So again, yeah, I'm using my defender as you should be doing too to defend. But look at that. I mean, I just couldn't reach the attacker, and my goalkeeper just decided to let that one go in. I mean, it was such an easy save, and he just decided not to do it. And look at the situation as well. I mean, somehow my player didn't pass properly. I don't know why. It's your players are not as good when you're playing in the legendary AI, and the better the AI, the worse they feel. They are very sluggish. They're very difficult to control. Bad first touches, and yeah, that's part of the difficulty, and that's definitely something that FIFA does on purpose. And look at the situation here. I mean, I just can't reach the ball and keep it on my feet. Something always happens, and it's 1-1 here. I'm trying to hold the ball, and look what's happening here. I mean, that's a foul, obviously, and I think I'm gonna steal this, and still somehow the ball is back to my opponent's feet. I mean, it's frustrating. I mean, and it feels like you can't do anything in these situations. Look at that cut here, and I'm able to almost steal the ball, but then it goes. I consider a corner kick, and I'm thinking, yeah, some things are not going very well here. And I was kind of seeing that the conceding was close, and look at that. So yeah, what can you do? At some point, you kind of know that things like that will happen. And I just can't reach him here. Look at that. I mean, my players are not even close to them, and I knew that he was coming towards my goal post, really. So I was trying to cut backwards, but they're just so fast that I just didn't have the time. I didn't have the opportunity even to do something like that. And remember, my players are actually staying on the back. I mean, they're not even my defenders. All of the defenders, the whole defensive line is supposed to be staying at the back. So that should be a lesson to you that it's even if you are trying really hard, and even if you are a good player. I'm not the best player, obviously, but I think I'm an okay player. And look at that, for example. I mean, insane. The legendary AI cheats, so don't feel bad if you lose. Even the best players in the game lose. And look at that goal. I mean, I was completely annihilated. And after the third goal, I actually almost gave up. I'm like, what the hell? But I managed to score one more. But yeah, even the best players have lost to legendary. I mean, you will see the players like AA9 skills, which are legends really in FIFA. Or some of the very OV, for example, pretty much losing at times. So don't feel bad if you do so. Just feel good if you actually win it multiple times. So that was it, guys, showing you how I played those 4 games for one single day. Love the squad battles. They can be frustrating at times, but I'll keep playing them, and I hope you do too. Thank you for watching, guys. Please remember to like the video and subscribe. This will help me with creating more and more videos and tutorials about FIFA 18. Make sure that you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.